Good evening, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to Annihilation Overwatch, where we're here in Tier 5 this evening's playoffs, bringing you Vicious Sharks versus Potato Pillagers. I'm Captain Jack, joined once again by E-Man. E-Man, how you feeling after that first match tonight?
I'm feeling pretty pumped. I won't lie to you. It's definitely a fun time to watch, and I'm excited to see what else you guys have to offer here at Annihilation. I'm expecting great things, and I don't think I'm going to be disappointed. I won't lie. I don't think I am.
Well, this is my first time casting with y'all, so I'm excited to see what this match proves. This is our open division, after all, so not having any ranks associated with the teams is going to make things a little bit difficult to see where people exactly are coming from. Typically, in open divisions, though, you're looking at a lot of high-level play, not wanting to make sure that those numbers are restricting anyone from the top 500s, those grandmasters, those masters coming in to play and have a good time. So why don't you go ahead and introduce us to our teams for tonight?
Most definitely, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, first and foremost, we have the lovely Potato Pillagers. Now, Potato Pillagers, they pillage potatoes, I guess.
that would be what I got from the name, personally.
I'm only kidding. We have the Potato Pillagers versus none other than the Vicious Sharks right now, and both of these teams, they've got some great stuff going, and I'm not gonna lie, they got some amazing gameplay that I've been scoping out. So I'm gonna see how they go ahead and use their skills to their advantage here. I don't know too much about either of the teams, but I do know that's gonna be a great time. I do know it's gonna be a great time.
Agreed. We have some incredible players tonight, and we already have, it looks like our first map locked in for this evening. We'll be heading to Oasis for our first map of the night. Now, Oasis is always a tricky one in terms of map integration because really you could run just about anything on Oasis if you really want to. You can run the dive, you can run a rush composition, you can run a little bit of the hybrid. I've been out of the OWCS scene for a bit, so I don't know if there are any other names of compositions that I'm missing right now. But truthfully, Oasis is one of those control points that it really comes down to whatever the team is feeling in that moment and what they can make work.
Most definitely. I think the only thing you're missing there is just going to be the poke composition, which
Yes, poke.
we all know. We all know about the poke,
Yep.
and honestly, I think it might be a little useful here, especially with that high low ground situation on the point of Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
I think that poke can definitely be used in a good situation here, as long as you're able to go ahead and get up to that high ground and get to that low ground fast enough.
Yeah.
For the rest of it, I think a rush and a dive might be the better option when it comes to the compositions.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's really going to depend on what they come out with. I was listening to a little bit of the last broadcast, and you were talking about how Hazard is being used a lot in high-level play, and I can't say that I'm surprised. You get all the benefits of Winston and D.Va essentially combined, where you have his ability to absorb damage yet defend, similar to Doomfist block, but you also have the jump and slash that you can get some additional damage in, just like Winston's jump bump that he gets going on. So it's truly anyone's game based on kind of how they deal with the new threat known as Hazard and how they're able to navigate around it. Or we might not even see any Hazard tonight. We might go to some of the old tried and trues on this map. See a little Winston D.Va dive. See a little bit of Reinhardt versus Orisa. I mean, truly, at the end of the day, it could be just about anything without seeing what's coming up on screen. We're just waiting for the teams to ready up, folks. So while we're waiting, be sure to be hitting that exclamation W or exclamation factor in the chat. All of the funding that comes in from those sources helps Annihilation to be able to give back a little bit to the teams and the folks that give of their free time to be able to put on these productions for you all. So be sure to check those out. I know that I personally am a fan of Dubby myself, for those of you that have never tried it before, is a powdered energy drink that comes from the skins of cocoa beans or cacao or from coffee beans rather. So many people don't realize that the coffee beans are actually the inner fruit of what a coffee bean actually is, and those skins usually get discarded. Well, Dubby utilizes that within their process to actually absorb the caffeine output that is put within the skin, and grinds it up into a powder, and is able to combine it with lots of amazing flavors that you're able to utilize in your stuff. I will give you a suggestion. If you're a Dubby fan out there already and you haven't figured it out yet, use a little bit of hot water when you start, just to get that powder really mixed in there, and then add the cold water and the ice afterwards. Mwah, it's so delicious. They even have sparkling water brands as well, or like sparkling energy drinks, I guess is the better word to put it, because it's sparkling water with the energy powder that they create. So, and there's plenty of different flavors out there for anyone to enjoy. So again, feel free to use any of those amazing sponsor links that we have in the chat to help support the folks working behind the scenes and supporting the teams as you are right here. We thank you for being here. So we're still hanging out.
Give me a second while I write all that down. I like the little science lesson that you gave there. It was really nice, really good stuff.
Hey, it's a lot of trial and error when you're trying out new products. We're the company I run uses Dubby as a partnership as well for things, and I don't use it, or I don't sponsor anything that I haven't used personally. So I always try things out, and that was my little experimentation that I figured out. Hey, like if I use cold water, not able to get all that powder dissolved, and use a little bit of hot water, you get the powder dissolved, and then it doesn't feel like you're eating chalk by the end of your drink. So you don't want to have a good experience be tainted because you get a bunch of wet sour powder in your mouth by the end of it. So
that's always a good thing, just not having that. And I do like that you highlighted that it doesn't have that effect on you. It's honestly really common for a lot of powdered energy beverages to, get really powdery and get really chalky at the end of the drink. Yep. So Dubby not doing that is honestly a win in my book. It already sets it so far apart from all the other different brands out there. So I think it's amazing. And huge shout out to Dubby again for sponsoring this the Annihilation Cup here.
Oh, another big thing, no crash afterwards. If you're a big caffeine drinker like myself, you don't have to worry about the crash afterwards after you have a really sugary drink like Monster or Red Bull. Just so you know, the caffeine isn't what gives you the crash, it's the sugar rush that you get. So just keep that in mind as well. It's just water, caffeine, and a couple little extra minerals to get in there. But let's stop talking about sponsors and let's get back to what everyone's here for, and that's some amazing Overwatch action as we head into City Center to start off the evening.
Most likely. I'm excited to see what kind of looks like right now we have a lot of tech issues, some ping issues right now, so I think we're going to be heading back into the lobby here quite soon.
Yep, they're just going to restart the match here real quick to see if they can get a better connection for ping is all. So we'll see if that, because for those that may not play a lot of Overwatch or maybe not a lot of video games in general, ping can be kind of make or break whether or not you're able to actually hit your shots or not, just because someone's moving either a little bit faster or a little bit slower than you are. So we'll see if resetting the lobby real quick provides any additional changes here, but we'll have to wait and get that all figured out. Looking in the chat, I want to see kind of what folks are talking about tonight. Use that hot water, says Curious OS. Definitely use that hot water. Abcar's BT Dub saying, "Do you like pizza?" I like pizza. I'm not certain if the question's connected to anything else, but just asking if we like pizza. So we do got some pizza love in here. As we keep looking through the chat, it says Apollo throwing my rank games. I don't know if Apollo is on one of our teams tonight. We'll have to take a look at the lobby here in a second.
That's my old account. I'm sorry about that one.
Oh, that's a rip. That's a rip. I didn't know. All right.
Secrets out. I throw rank
games. Yeah. Apollo's out there throwing rank games. That's rough. That's rough, buddy. So, but nevertheless, looks like the chat's having a good time. Go ahead and let us know who are y'all rooting for tonight. I believe Team 1 tonight is our look at the schedule again. Our vicious Sharks. Yeah. And Team 2 is our potato pillagers. So I have no skin in this game whatsoever. So I am here as a non-biased commentator to give y'all the action as I see in front of me. No bias whatsoever.
I think the team with the Overwatch character is gonna win. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, seeing as they're both playing Overwatch, I'm gonna assume that can't happen, and we can't be throwing out lies like that already, man. We can't.
I just thought
because they both can't win. Yeah, you're going a little too unbiased, right? Like somebody's got to win at the end of it. Like we can't say everybody wins because that's just not the way the game's played. Especially Oasis, like it's best 2 out of 3 to see who takes that map and starts off their victory run for this evening. And let me tell you, playoffs is the time that you don't want to be losing that edge. You know, the regular season was great and all, but now that we're in playoffs, it's kind of do or die time. Got to get those dubs early and often to make sure that you can make it as far as you can, because I believe, if I take a look at the rules again, I was kind of scanning them before I jumped on tonight. I believe the tournament playoffs are double elimination, if I'm not wrong. But I definitely could be.
Thinking they are as well as we...
Yep, so if it is a double elimination, so you get a little bit of a reprieve, right? You have that one oopsie, that one bad night, but... If not, then, if you make it into that lower bracket, that could be rough. So we're heading back into Oasis now. Thank you so much for hanging with us, folks. We were filling as much as we could, and it looks like we're heading to Gardens instead for our first match of the evening. Let's see where these teams end up working.
It's not looking... it's too good on the ping again.
Well, the thing is that it looks like it's not putting us in Central for some reason. Oh.
Grabbing some technical
difficulties. That's odd. Here. That is odd. Very, very odd. So it seems that because our observers in OCE
Yeah.
As
I am.
Yeah, okay. So we're trying to fix things on our end. Our observer for tonight is in the OCE, and it keeps trying to put the lobby in OCE despite locking in Central America, or Central North America to be specific. So there we go. It looks like the ping's all fixed now.
Yeah,
that should help things out a little bit as we go ahead and head into Gardens once again. We'll go ahead and see. We actually have no idea. We didn't get the team lineups for tonight, as you can tell by the fact that we weren't able to go through the teams this evening. But we'll get an idea of kind of who's going to be playing what role, what kind of tanks, DPS, and support going to be coming out the gate here. And it looks like we got some Mauga versus Ramatra action.
Interesting. I won't lie. That's quite interesting. I don't know how well Ramatra can fare against Mauga. I'm not gonna lie. Considering Nemesis form just renders him without a shield, he does have the block, however. So that could, just mitigate a lot of damage. However, it's just Mauga. He's very much a damage in front of you type of tank rather than anything else,
Well,
So
it's
we'll see how
really
this
going to
one goes.
depend on how it plays out. We do have Mark the Pot coming out on the Baptiste, which is going to help mitigate some of that damage with the Immortality Field. And we'll see as we go ahead and head into the action right now. We're already seeing the Sharks taking on to the high ground, looking for that opening pick potential, but it is coming down to the Potatoes being on that low ground. Kelly Dudd taking a deep dive off the side, not for certain who they were running from exactly, but Tokyo will get that first elimination. Tanked down though as last night falls to Torterra, and that is going to be a cleanup of the objective right now. It looks like those Potatoes are firmly planted as they clear the field and start their percentage climb.
Yeah, who knew a Potato and a Shark could just have a strong battle and a Potato would come out on top? Honestly, Kelly Dudd falling off the map there definitely was the catalyst for them losing that fight in that situation. I don't think it was necessarily the most intentional thing, but we'll see how that goes. It looks like we're going to go for a little bit of a rush coming in from Vicious Sharks now, as Toretta is failed to get the Suzu, though. It's going to go and fall instantly. Tracemaker being forced all the way back, as well as last night's able to take out Kelly Dudd. And that is going to be Potatoes just holding a strong presence, as Tokyo's going to take out Tracemaker there. Going on a little bit more of a flank as Vampiric is able to take out Water, and that's a little bit of a team, or at least not almost a team wipe, excuse me. Point's going to go ahead and stay in Potatoes' favor.
Yeah, it was a team wipe. It unfortunately ended up staggering out the Sharks a little bit more than they probably would have liked. So sometimes you just gotta take it. You just gotta take that L and get those eliminations quick, so that you can get grouped up with the team again. But right now, it's really coming down to last night and the rest of the Potatoes working strong together, and that's providing them that advantage. That's true. Torterra finds the double kill. Tracemaker with the follow-up, and there it is. Kelly Dudd now on the Genji, able to grab it at the 66% mark.
Yeah, looks like they were able to find their groove here, the Sharks, as they were just able to go ahead and just dive in really quickly, do a bunch of damage, and get those eliminations, allowing them to just flip the point with ease like it's no one's business right now. You see Lucas on top on the Lucio. A little bit of a high gun, and this is probably going to get committed as well with the cage fight and the Kitsune Rush being committed once again. Immortality Field is going to go ahead and get committed a little early though, and there is the annihilation from Ramattra. See if he can go and get some damage here. Torterra though on the Mauga, just go ahead and stopping him in his track, forced to fall back and block. Nemesis Form's going to get committed again, but Torterra is not done. Tokyo's able to take out a couple though. And Tokyo's gonna get the last one there, as he's just gonna just clean up everybody on the point there, allowing them to just try to flip this point. And we have Lucas on Lucio trying to stall and run as fast as he can. Vampiric's able to pick him up though, and there's a point flip. But Water is not done, getting a huge pick onto Vampiric, making their forces dwindle a little bit more, as Torterra is being once again a presence on this map.
That is true.
That Mauga is tough to go against.
Yeah, well, I mean, Torterra isn't causing as much of a stir as one would think with the way that Tokyo has been playing. As we go ahead and see the teleport coming in from Water, able to get into the midst of the sound barrier from Lucas, and is going to allow Kelly to clean up that blade, finds 4, and that's going to be a team kill, ringing out loud and proud for the side of the Sharks as they dig their teeth into this objective. Now, looking at the way that things are shaping up here, last night, still not swapping off this Ram has got me a little bit concerned. We've got to start seeing some counter picks come out.
Most definitely. It looks like we just have no shortage of amazing Genji players here at Annihilation. First, we have Saucer, now Kelly Dudd, just showing that they're force to be reckoned with. Once again, Immortality Field being committed really fast here. Tokyo takes out 2 and gets a 3rd from this overclock. Huge use of it right there. Vampiric and last night able to clean up the last 2 for a team kill. And that is 95%. Are they able to touch? Don't think so. I'm thinking Potatoes take the first round here.
Very close there from Tracemaker. Trying to get to that objective just in time, but just not quick enough, unfortunately. Potato's going to go ahead and lock in the University, rather, as we go ahead and head into City Center. for our next map. Now, we still haven't seen any swaps other than Kelly Dudd early on swapping over to the Genji, which did show some promise, but as we swap over, I'm interested in seeing if Last Night is going to stick on this Ramatra, because although Tokyo is popping off fairly well, you can only rely on Tokyo so much. The tank also has to be able to create that space, and if you're still fighting against Torterra and these dual machine guns that set you violently on fire, and there's nothing you can do about it, that concerns me, especially as a tank player that knows that my job is to make the space here.
Exactly. I think that Tokyo just bailed out Last Night a lot in that last round, so we'll see if he can continue to do that. Now he's on the Trace, or no, he's still on the Sojourn. Excuse me. I thought I saw him on Trace for a second. We'll see if he's.
No, that was Vampiric swapping over. So.
I see.
Yeah, don't want to use that sim. Although a decent counter to Mauga as well. Again,
Last Night falling so low on HP, being forced to use that immortality field, but Torterra has not had enough of him. He's gonna keep on running him down as Kelly Dudd's gonna go ahead and pick up the kill. Vampiric is gonna pick up Lucas though. That is the Lucio down. Point's gonna go ahead and go in the favor of the Sharks as they try to clean up the rest of these kills here. A lot of health going down though, as Mark the Spot's gonna go ahead and fall to the Echo. It's Kelly Dudd swapping over to the Echo now. It looks like the Genji wasn't gonna be enough here, so they swapped over to the Echo. We have two hit scan, excuse me. A brave pick, I won't lie. So we'll see how this one pans out and the rest of it. We'll see if Tokyo is able to take him out with that overclock. He seems to be able to do so before.
I mean, it's really coming down to the value that Kelly Dudd is giving to the team, right? Echo is such a dominant force if played correctly, being able to get those angles, get that beam off. I'm not able to get it off in the right amount of time, but that pick onto Lucas is going to go ahead and open things up. Pulse bomb onto Kelly Dudd, takes both DPS off the field, but Water doing some damage of their own. Torterra down, though, means that the support's got to get out of there, and that's the objective going over to Potato.
Oh my god, Tokyo's not done! They're still going. Good lord, some strong performance in the Sojourn here. That's insane. Just these shots that we saw earlier today were amazing. That early pick onto Lucas was the catalyst for them to just win that fight in the end here. They were forced to fall back and regroup, but since they didn't fall back, they ended up paying with their lives here. As the flip point goes to go ahead and go over towards Potato's side. Now the Sharks are trying to go ahead and take control of the low ground here, as high ground's going to be able to go to Potato right now. They are holding on for dear life. Kelly Dudd diving up, now in the copy with the Baptiste. Immortality field from that being committed early right now. But Kelly Dudd is not able to get as many kills. However, he did force them off the high ground. There's Anthem against Matrix coming in from the copy. They're forced to fall back away from that sightline as Lucas takes out the immortality fields. Kelly Dudd taking out Last Night, and there is the cage fight being committed from Torterra, killing the brick instantly. Kelly Dudd and Tracemaker cleaning up anything and everything. Almost a little bit of a team wipe, forcing the Sojourn to fall back and just stay as far away as they can. Tokyo not able to do a lot with no team, unfortunately.
I feel like One Trick Brig over here has a tendency to be the aggressive off tank that does not exist anymore in this game, based on the fact that Torterra literally only caged fight them and no one else. So it does make me wonder how much of this amazing brig play. Double kill coming in from Tokyo as they go ahead and violently push their way in, looking to regain the objective at the 87% mark.
Oh my goodness, Tokyo with the 3K. Triple. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that going Echo into hit scan is going to be tough. We see Tokyo is not showing him that it's a good idea, as he's able to take out the Echo quite fast here. Point's going to go ahead and flip, though. They have 4 ults on the Shark side. Oh no, that's the Potato side, excuse me. Yep. And 3 ults on the Shark side right now. We'll see how they use this one here. Ult comedy is looking good for Potato side at the moment. We have an Amplification Matrix, Overclock, Annihilation, and the Pulse Bomb. See if they can get a big pick on the Pulse Bomb. Lucas is always, most of the time, first to die in these fights here. One Pulse Bomb onto Lucas, if Tokyo's not able to do the job, could win them the fight and potentially get them this map win. Tokyo's taking out Tracemaker though. Goodness gracious, this is crazy. Continue rush going in, and Torterra is drumming in as long as he can. And that's going to be Annihilation and the beat going in at the exact same time. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a sustain here. Silky is able to take out Kelly Judd. Last night able to take out Water. And there's an immortality field being committed to go and keep them all alive as One Trick Brig and Vampiric and just clean up the rest of it. 92% right now. They are pushing up towards the spawn and see if they can secure the rest of this map. And I think they might be able to here, as there's no one fast enough to touch the point. And there it is. First map going over to Potato Pillager side.
Very interesting. It was looking rough. I'm not gonna lie. Last night on this Ramatra against the Mauga of Torterra has been a very uphill fight. And if it was not for Tokyo just absolutely popping off over and over again on this Sojourn, I think we would have seen a very different match here on Oasis.
Most definitely. I do think, as I said before, they're just able to take charge here and go ahead and bail out last night as much as he can. That was an insane play from Tokyo there. I am very impressed, I won't lie. Now, why doesn't my Sojourn do that,
I don't know. I play console plat games, and my Sojourns don't do anything like that. So I'm gonna take a wild guess that it's based on where we're ranked right now. That's kind of the value that we get on the table. So as we go ahead and wait for our hybrid map selection for this next time around, let's talk a little bit about early MVPs. I mean, Tokyo's popping off like crazy, but I mean, Tracemaker on the side of the Sharks has really been holding their own against those railgun shots.
I do think that it's very much so Tokyo just showing a dominant performance, but we don't know for sure because this is first map. I don't want to call it a little too soon. Maybe Tokyo is just like a Sojourn one trick, and you're probably gonna have to hang on 1 second. We're gonna go ahead and get this map changed really quick.
So, as I was saying, it's going to be interesting to see how this continues onward, especially if last night is not concerned enough about Torterra. Maybe Torterra will need to change up strategy as to who they are focusing with this Mauga, because if the difficulty is not taking out the tank, but more so taking out Tokyo on this Sojourn, you got to be able to lock in those eliminations, maybe coming in on the Diva, coming in on the Roadhog, something that's able to isolate Tokyo away from the rest of the team and be able to make them a very ineffective champion of the team, might be able to bring some value that is being missed here, and might end up plowing up the potatoes a little earlier than they're hoping for tonight. But we'll wait and see how things shake out. A very good start here for the side of the Potato Pillagers as we go ahead and wait for our next map to be locked in. Unfortunately, I think our caster is a little inexperienced with setting up the rounds, so we're just waiting for them to swap map over. I don't even know where we're going. Where are we going, E-Man?
Going to Midtown, dude.
Midtown, New York City. I love me some New York City. Very, very awesome map. Ever since it came out, I've always kind of liked it. Honestly, it gives me a lot of the vibes that Eichenwald does, in the way that it's shaped, a very singular choke point to gain access to the objective, to be able to switch things around. Yep, that's right. That's exactly what you need to do.
Okay.
Yep. So, that initial choke point, and then heading into the second area where it has a lot of that high ground potential that can be utilized by the defense, but can be overtaken by the offense to be able to get through that kind of underground area, matching a little bit of what we see on First Point, Watch Point, Gibraltar.
Oh, I thought they were both ready.
We're going to get a reset here real quick, folks, but go ahead and start popping off in the chat. Let us know who all you are looking for that dub. I'm looking and seeing, I'm seeing Curious saying that my team's GOAT. Not for certain what team they're talking about based on the chat, so we'll have to see how it all shakes out. Apparently, there's a freak off incoming. I didn't know Annihilation did freak offs. So we're just getting things set up here, folks. So go ahead and hang in there with us. We appreciate your patience as we go ahead and get things set up here. As we go ahead and lock in the potential Midtown here in just a second. I'm excited to see if we get any composition swaps here. I mean, as we were seeing kind of a double rush situation kind of coming on here. As we were looking at kind of that Malga with the Lucio rush versus the Juno on the side of the Ramatra rush. So we'll see kind of how things shake out going into this next map. I want to see maybe a little bit more dive. Maybe we might see Winston. A big one that I see a lot of here on Midtown, surprisingly enough, Wrecking Ball. Very, very interesting pick, you would think, for Midtown, but because of all the close quarters situations that you can find yourself in, it really can put the potential of either running people into walls. Doomfist is also really popular here on Midtown, so we'll just kind of see how things shake out as we head on in. Just waiting for that map to start up. Here we go. Heading into Midtown, we're going to see once again the Sharks taking the well, I guess first time seeing the Sharks taking the defense technically, but teams are going to be on the same sides going into this matchup. So we'll see what the Sharks are going to be defending with here very shortly. And now that we've got the map situation out of the way there, E-Man, what are you thinking? Tell me, what are the vibes for this matchup based on what we've seen thus far?
Honestly, we got Tokyo and Widowmaker, so they gotta find a way to lock him down. I think that's the only thing that Vicious Sharks can do in this situation right now is just find a way to lock down that Widowmaker, lock down Tokyo, because he's a shooter. As we saw from the last game, he does not miss. Looks like they're going to try to opt for something like that here, but they do have a little bit of a poke composition, so they're going to go ahead and try to challenge Tokyo here, as we have an Ash as well as a Sigma. Maybe Tracemaker can go ahead and just disrupt him a little bit, try to go ahead and get into his face there in these situations, see if that'll go ahead and work out in the end. As we're going to go ahead and begin this map right now, we got the Potato Pillagers on the attack here. Vampiric taking point already, and there's the Dynamite going to go and get committed really early there. Not able to find anybody, though.
Yeah,
Vampiric
unfortunately,
forcing them way back.
Yeah, a little bit too early there for that Dynamite to get the value it was looking for. Unfortunate, unsuccessful hook shot there from Tokyo. I do like seeing Lucas coming out on this Zenyatta though, because it's going to provide that similar range of pick protection. I know if I am facing up against a Widowmaker, having that Zen is a big boon to me to be able to get those shots, as we see Vampiric already finding Tracemaker within the mix, making it a 4v5 fight last night, trading out as Kelly Dudd goes down and making it a 3v4, 3v3 now in both directions, as it looks like the Sharks will hold strong in the water for the moment. Vampiric back on the point, but easily going to get taken out by the combination of Water and Lucas. They already wasted that first minute off the clock.
Most definitely. Looks like that early pick that we had from the Sharks there was able to just help them secure that point right there. Since, once they got that pick, they were able to just stabilize and continue on. I think they went ahead and found the groove here. They found a way to take out Tokyo, and that is to take out the rest of their team. So I'm thinking that's what they're going to go and try to opt for the rest of the match here. As last night's going to go and take point here, try to just push up as far as they can. See if they can get some good hits in right now. And looks like Kelly Dudd is finding Vampiric in the backline, being forced to recall out. And Torterra taking out last night, but YouTube Mark the Pot is able to take out Kelly Dudd first off, and that's going to be the Immortality Field committed early, and there's the Flux. being missed
What a
instantly.
juke.
One trick rig though was a little too far in as Tokyo's able to take out water.
Yeah, it's a very, very crazy situation we're finding ourselves in right now. And honestly, I'm a little surprised that last night has not opted to come in on that ramp. That would be a great hero to be pushing in and putting that aggression on against this poke composition, as we see Lucas trying to channel their inner airbender and hold everything together. Finds the double kill there last night in Tokyo. Lucas making their way to the objective, actually making their way to Tokyo, only to get a headshot straight in the face. I think that is going to be objective alpha going to those potatoes.
Most definitely. I don't think Aang would be too happy with their performance here. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hey,
But
you
then
know,
again, Aang is a pacifist.
Aang also made mistakes as a learning airbender and avatar. So, you know, everybody makes their mistakes. It's about learning from it. As we see the Gravitic Flux come in, Transcendence to save the day, though.
Oh, that's amazing. That's something great to see. We love whenever we have a Zenyatta's able to save from Transcendence there. Kelly Dudd, though, able to take out Vampiric, and Torterra able to take out One Streak Bid. But Kelly Dudd picking up last night once more, and that's going to be a hold. They almost were able to cap that point. They got 2 ticks off, but it was not going to be enough. 35 seconds left on the clock. Less than a minute. They have yet to capture first point. This is going to be a tough one. They've got about one more fight left in this round to see if they can go and do this. Tokyo committing the infrasight right now, as last night and One Trick Big are frontlining out in this situation. Let's see if One Trick Big can make that big play. We have an amplification matrix and a pulse bomb coming in, but One Trick Big is gonna fall instantly to Kelly Dudd. Tokyo trading out Lucas though as Vampiric takes out water. Both supports are down, so they're forced to back up all the way back to the point here. But Mark the Pot is able to take out Torterra after a huge fight with last night. Vampiric taking out a Tracemaker, and there in overtime they went ahead and captured Alpha Point.
That is a rough situation to be in. That's 4 minutes already shaved off of their total time bank, as Tokyo is already set up waiting for Kelly Dudd to find their way back into the objective to pick them off quickly. But honestly, I think the battle we're really watching here, when we were seeing more Kelly Dudd, we were seeing more Tracemaker and Tokyo last map, we're seeing that Tracer battle of Tracemaker and Vampiric to see who can really pop off. Pulse Bomb not able to find purchase on the target it was looking for, as we see the Immortality Field coming out to save the day against the Gravitic Flux of Torterra. That's going to be a kill coming in on Marks the Pod. Tracemaker followed up on in Tokyo, taking an L there in the Widow 1v1, as we see the rotation of Kelly Dudd there onto the high ground, looking for that open opportunity. Venomine not able to find a purchase, and knows exactly that Vampiric is in that low ground looking for an opportunity to strike.
And I do want to give a quick shout out over to the supports over in the Shark side court. So Torterra was just getting straight bullied in that last fight. Supports were there to just keep him up, and that was an amazing sight to behold, because there are so many times where I thought, oh, Torterra definitely dies here. But no, definitely does not. Huge accretion on last night to cancel the Gravitic Flux. That's amazing to see. Torterra is showing that he is not he's a force to be reckoned with. He is not falling back. He is not backing down. Some great holding on the high ground right here. Looks like they're still pushing Card on the low ground though. So they gotta stop this once they get past this choke point here.
See, I find it interesting because I was actually wooing the pick there onto Tokyo from Kelly Dudd, like literally maybe an inch of space to be able to get that pick off to really open things up. But now, as we see Tokyo back into the fight, we'll have to see how Tracemaker is able to create some space. But that rally is just going to run everyone down right now. Tokyo looking for the opportunity to get that pick onto Kelly Dudd, and does so. And it looks like that is going to be Objective Bravo. The recall comes in from Tracemaker, so they're not going to be able to touch again. That's Objective Bravo. Minute 30 back on the clock, but they only had 10 seconds to spare going into that point. Things are going to be tight when it comes to that time now.
Most definitely, and it seems like they went ahead and just, as I said, found that groove that they needed right there in that situation. At first, they had a little bit of struggle in capturing first point, but when it comes to pushing that payload, they just know what to do in these situations. You know, maybe it is the last night just showing some strong performance in the Sigma here. Or maybe it is just Tokyo just having that much aura, just making them hold back up. We'll see what it is right now. But we do have Gravitic Flux and a Transcendence online, and it's going to be Tortilla committed to Gravitic Flux, see if he can grab anybody. He's not able to find it, though, as Kelly Dunn takes out Tokyo, though. Last Night gets hit with the accretion there. That's going to be the accretion going in, but if Last Night can build this ult quite fast, I think he can. He'd be able to do something with it, but it looks like it's not going to be the case here. Amplification Matrix, excuse me, being committed as well, as Last Night holds on for dear life. They're hearing though the good kill on Torterra. Inversight going in from Kelly Dud, or from Tokyo's side, as Kelly Dud fights for his life to try to survive here. But a Tracer is in to meet his demise as Water is forced back way far. Vampiric is not done. Still on the punch here, still on the prowl, trying to take anyone out, you know.
I mean, Vampiric's teeth are just dug in right now. It is absolutely insane. Kelly Dud able to get the pick onto Tokyo, but I don't think that's going to be enough right now with the way that Vampiric's playing. They were just taking out the backline one by one. Gravitic Flux coming in from Last Night, but gets accretioned out of the sky. Even if it wasn't that, the Transcendence saving the day. Torterra with the 3K as they come down from the sky, and that's going to be a lock. 88.89 meters here on Objective Charlie, as Vampiric tried to carry all they could, but it just wasn't enough to grab that third objective.
You know, I will say, maybe this is a strong reasoning as to why Torterra is a top-tier Pokemon. Who knows? After this gameplay.
Could be.
I don't know, I'm a big fan of Pig 9 myself, but we'll see how this one goes as we go into the second round. And what are you thinking is going to happen to this one? How do you feel about this happening?
I mean, I guess the struggle that I'm currently having is that we're not seeing a lot of flexibility from either teams. Like, Kelly Dud has been the most active to swap when needed, and although I'm not big on the Widow v Widow, just because if you're getting outmatched, it's very hard to really find those shots. It has been trade for trade, so there hasn't been that much of an issue there. I would have loved to have seen Last Night come out on this Ramatra on the attack. I think that would have provided a lot more pressure onto Torterra, although Water and Lucas have been pumping out heals like absolute mad people. I don't think that it would have been enough to sustain against the lack of protection that Torterra would have had having a Ramatra punch through their shield. So I'm interested to see how this works here. It's definitely a choice to do it on the defense for first point, because it is a poke battle. Like, they do have to force their way in here, so I guess you can catch them around this corner, but you're just giving up a lot of space and possible opportunity for those early picks, especially with those long sight lines, as both of our Widows swap over to Tracer for this round.
Most definitely. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of a Tracer Sojourn duel right now, as we have the mirror going on, but the tanks are not mirrored as well. Or they're not mirrored, excuse me, as Torterra opting for the Sigma. And Last Night going into the Ramatra, but Torterra showing that Sigma is going to be the stronger tank here as he gets hit with accretion, and is going to go ahead and end that, get that elimination there, as Water is able to pick up Vampiric. That's the backline diver just gone, which means that, you know, the Sharks are able to just go ahead and take the point as fast as possible. 3 minutes left on the clock. They're already getting their second tick. That is huge for it when it comes to time. And looks like they're not going to go ahead and back down, and Torterra is holding a strong presence right here, trying to stop them from going and contesting this point. Looks like they're not going to be able to do it enough, though, as they just... Oh, I spoke a little too soon. 5 minutes left on the clock from the Sharks, as Tracemaker is able to trade out Tokyo after that kill him to Kelly Dud. It looks like the Immortality Field is going to get committed a little early there. Torterra was really low on HP. Who knows if it was worth it to go and save Torterra?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get your tank staggered when you're trying to push through, especially with the area that now Last Night's Ramatra is going to be strongest. Being in those close quarters capacities was really what was going to be the value of that Ramatra. But by saving Torterra, they were able to force back the rest of the potatoes for just a moment, as we see a very sneaky Lucas in the back line. 1 HP in a dream ends up getting taken down by Tokyo in the end, as we now see the Ravenous Vortex looking for those opportunities with Water down now. That's all she wrote. Last Night now finally has the space they need to work with this Sumatra, and it's going to be up to Torterra whether or not they use this ultimate and swap, or if they decide to swap in hopes to gain more time on the objective.
Most definitely. It looks like Mark the Pot will have the Immortality Field back online, so they need to force it out before they ever use a Graphitic Flux. If they want to use that while it's still online, it may just render it entirely useless. Tokyo taking a lot of damage, being forced back all the way up back to their supports, though, as Last Night pushes up, though. This is not a good look for Last Night. He has no supports here. Annihilation is going to go and get committed there, and there is the Gravitic Flux being used. And there's the Immortality Field as well being used as well. They were not able to force that one out quite yet, but it did not really matter as Torterra is able to take out Last Night. But there's a lot of trades going back and forth as Tokyo is picking up one more on water. And looks like at the end of it all, at the end of everything, it seemed as though the Sharks are going to be in favor there, but looks like Potato Pillagers were there to clean up the rest of it.
Yeah, that was very odd to, like, the position. Like, I understand the positioning on the high ground for the DPS, but Last Night really should be taking advantage of the fact that they are a brawler. They are supposed to be up close and personal. They should be there on that low ground area protecting the objective because they know that Torterra is gonna have to push into that. They have no choice but to get to the objective. But right now, they're having to use every ability that they have in the book just to get down to where Torterra is. And look, all the investment just to have to keep Last Night alive for naught.
Yeah, and it's not looking good as Tracemaker is just using that overclock to go ahead and take out the team. That is a strong push coming in from the Vicious Sharks. And that was only one ultimate ability, excuse me. There's only one ultimate ability, and they still have at least two more up. They're about to get three. We'll see how the rest of this goes. But Tokyo, with the overclock themselves, Amplification Matrix and Rally are online for Potato Pillagers here. Let's see how they use this one here. Second point's already been captured here. 3 minutes and 49 seconds left on the clock, as they just show a strong push right now.
And see, Torterra is doing exactly what they need to do to keep Last Night at bay. You know, that side room right there to the right of Lucas is exactly where Last Night needs to post up and utilize that form to be able to punch into Torterra and anyone else that's on the objective. But right now, they're out in the open with the ability for many headshots to be smacked onto their dome. This is a rough position for them to be in right now. As we see, the Gravitic comes in, an absolute shot into the window, out through their head, and that is going to be a complete cleanup of the objective. It is going to be a literal miracle to see if they can get back to the objective in time.
That's definitely, and we don't see really that many swaps coming in from the team itself. All we have is a Trace with a touch. We'll see if that's going to go ahead and do enough there, as the Pulse Bomb's going to go ahead and onto Tracemaker to secure that kill, which Immortality Field is going to get committed for that. But Hilly does able to pick up Vampiric from the trade right there. Rally's going to go ahead and get committed as well from One Trick Brig, as Torterra is left alone on the cart. No one there to save them, except for Lucas, who's just throwing out the support to see if they can get anything in this situation. Tokyo able to pick up two. Mark the Pot able to pick up one, and One Trick Big picking up one as well. That is going to be a strong, strong hold. But will it be enough?
With 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock, you know, if I were the Potato Pillagers, I would be holding my breath for the next 2 minutes, because it literally is, if you drop once, there is no recovery from this, and it's going to be a 1-1 game going into the half. So we'll have to see how this looks. You know, we got the overclock, we got the annihilation. I would say let them push in and then let Ram go wild, especially now that we see them utilizing the Transcendence to see if they can get that early pick, which they are successful on.
Last Night's able to pick up one, and he's going to commit to that annihilation there. Vampiric picking up another after a trade from Torterra into Tokyo. But it looks like Last Night's going to be able to hold it all on their own. Once again, though, they are left alone with no supports, and just with them and their dreams on the cart, see if they can try to sustain as long as they can. And there's the Immortality Field being able to be committed there to keep him alive just long enough for his entire team to go ahead and come back. But will it be enough? Because he's low on HP once again. Torterra also low on HP, though. He's not falling back. He's staying strong. He's holding his ground. Kelly Dud picking out One Trick Brig. And there's the Amplification Matrix along with the Overclock coming in from Tracemaker to see if they can secure the rest of this. There's Last Night falling. Vampiric able to get a kill out there with the Pulse Bomb, but Kelly Dud is cleaning up. And that is going to be the map. Going to the Vicious Sharks.
Lock it in 1-1 right now between the Potato Pillagers and the Vicious Sharks. I gotta say, Torterra staying on that Sigma was probably the best thing that they could have done throughout that entire match, despite the fact that we saw a very strong counter against the Sigma coming out. Oh, goodness. Overwatch audio not liking me right now as we get that in the ears. But as I was saying, despite the fact that last night was coming out with a major counter against Torterra's Sigma, the way that last night was playing was still like they were in that poke composition. They were trying to keep their distance, and then once the team was there, closing the distance. That's not what you want to do. You want to make sure that that distance is already close, as close as it can be by the time that that fight starts, so that you don't have to take resources to close that distance. You didn't have a Juno, you didn't have a Lucio, so you don't have speed to be able to get you there faster. So you're having to use your annihilation form just to be able to push into the objective, and you're already getting either picked off or having to utilize so many other resources just to stay alive that you're already having to pull out. It was, for me, looking at it from kind of an overhead perspective, it just didn't make a lot of sense as to why to pick the Ramatra if you're still just going to play the poke composition.
Most definitely. I don't understand as to why they were. I don't understand why last night we're just not able to be helped a lot in those situations. Maybe they just jumped the gun a little too early and their team wasn't ready, or maybe there's just like a miscommunication back and forth. I'm not entirely sure, but we did see a lot of last night in there all alone, not able to just get any help. We had a couple big saves going in from things like Suzu or, Immortality Field, but was it enough? Is the question.
Well,
it looks like it was
that's
not.
actually one of the things that could have helped, because we saw Brig Baptiste the entire time. We actually didn't see a Kiriko come out from the side of the Potato Pillagers. I would have loved to have seen that, especially during those close end fights, pop a Kitsune rush. And then last night just becomes an absolute barrage. You think of like freaking One Punch Man or Dragon Ball Z, where it's like all those fists flying all at once. Like, that's what Ramatra becomes in the Kitsune rush, and it makes it so easy to take those fights without allowing Torterra and the rest of the team to keep them up. So I want to see a little bit more coordination as we head into our next map. But for now, as we go ahead and get this next map set up, let's go ahead and send it to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to see what push holds for these two teams and who will take the lead after that.
Welcome back to the
We didn't discuss. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No worries. Go ahead.
Welcome back to the Annihilation Cup. We are here after the break, about to hop into map 3 between Vicious Sharks and Potato Pillagers. I'm Equiniman. Joined by me is
Captain Jack. Hi, everybody. Nice to be here.
How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm used to a lot of 3 Overwatches in most of the leagues that I either work in or cast in. So already start off with a 1-1 is good in my book, to say the least. As we get ready for our push map, I think the concern on the table is kind of how this battle is going to continue going on between our tank players, because I think that's a really the big balance or misbalance that we're seeing here, right? Last night, very fond of the Ramatra, did decently on the Sigma, but especially going into what we saw on Midtown, was having some difficulty closing that gap. And especially as we go into Esperanza for our next map, that is going to be a major focus point. If they want to run that Ramatra, they have to keep those fights close. If they do not do that, they will continue to fail, as we were seeing them trying to hold that defense on Midtown. But if they do it like we saw on Oasis, where those fights are very close, we might see the Mauga come back out for Torterra, but honestly, that Sigma was popping off pretty strong. Honestly, I would, based on the way that the supports have been healing as well, I wouldn't even feel bad about going into possibly going into a Rhine matchup against a Ramatra. I know it's a little unorthodox most of the time, but honestly, being able to provide that shield for your DPS to just kind of poke out against non-shielded characters could provide a lot of value for the team, while also keeping Last Night at bay if they are on that Ramatra. We do have a pause on the field, not exactly for certain what was caused it.
I think in the match. Sorry.
There should be a pause. There's a combination of buttons typically for the pause. I don't know if you have it set to what it normally is or what it should be. You can just reset the lobby too. It looks like some settings actually need to be reset. So if you go to show lobby, go show lobby, and then wait, you don't even have this. What? That's odd.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's odd.
The setting just wasn't showing up for me. I'm sorry.
I forgot that I wasn't looking at your screen. I was looking at the producer's screen. So I was like, yeah, wait, why isn't that selection there? That's so weird. It's like, no, it is there. I'm just a dummy. There we go. All right.
They needed to swap out, though, no?
All right, so as we go ahead and wait for the match to get started up again, folks, it is going to be interesting to see how these teams play out against one another. I mean, seeing Tokyo and Kelly Dudd on the Sojourns or the Widowmakers is going to be very strong for a map like Esperanza. Tracemaker versus Vampiric on the Tracers. Could be seeing some Sombra play coming out. I don't know how aggressive Sombra players Tracemaker and Vampiric are, but could be seeing a little bit of that. I don't expect seeing any changes on the support lines personally. I think One Trick Brig is gonna stick with Brig. I might be wrong on that, but the name kind of says it all. I do like seeing Lucas on the Zenyatta. Those discords have been popping off like crazy. I always love people in matches that talk about when a healer is not doing their job, or when a support is not doing their job. And I hate to say this, but a support's job is not just supporting the team via healing. It's supporting the team via any ability that they have to do that. They can save your life with things like Immortality Field or Cleanse. They can speed you up via Lucio or Juno, or they can help apply more damage to enemies like Zenyatta. So anyone out there that thinks that support should just be healing, you're literally forcing people to just do one thing out of a number of things that supports can do. And you got to be flexible enough to be a good support to be able to do all of those things. So we'll see kind of how things continue to work out in this little conundrum space that we have created here as we head into map number 3, Esperanza. Tied 1-1 right now between the Vicious Sharks and the Potato Pillagers. Go ahead, pop off in that chat. Let us know who you want to be seeing coming out on top after we leave this Spain area.
Initiating match.
I'm excited to see how this one pans out. Honestly, I think Brig might be a pretty good pick here on this map, Esperanza. You know, there's a lot of long sightlines, though. I'm really worried as to how this one might pan out. You know, we do have Kelly Dudd, who's, you know, I think they're resident hit scan, so we'll see if they can go ahead and just get some good hits in.
Well, we'll have to see.
To
Kelly Dudd's a name I recognize. I'm not certain from where. Now, I've worked in the collegiate space for a while. I've worked in other Overwatch orgs. The name Kelly Dudd and Hitscan seem to go together in the history of my knowledge of that name. So I don't know if they're the same person or if they just happen to be two different people with the same name and the same sort of play style, but I do like, we should note that we are seeing Tort come out and Pla come in. So we're getting to see some Wrecking Ball play as last night swaps over to the Winston for their fight here. And a lot of things changing up. Brig staying on that Brig. Not surprised coming from One Trick Brig, but Pot is going to be coming in on that Ana. So Brig going to be playing a little bit more Protect the President this time around, as Water is just going to hope that Lucas is able to fend them off with those big old kicks that Zenyatta's can do. But we're going to be seeing it. Ooh, big pick to start things off.
Sneak guard and the railgun shot onto Tracemaker there, but you still have Pla in the backline just wreaking havoc, causing terror. And there's a Winston dive going in with the nade, but looks like Winston blocked the nade, so it's not able to get a lot of value out of it. However, he did force him off the high ground, which allows them to continue to push on. Looks like Potato Pillagers are showing a little bit of a strong presence here right now. But Pot is all instantly to the big slam, and Tracemaker finishing the job there. And Tokyo able to pick up Lucas. That's one support for one DPS on Nest. The other support, Water, falling to Vampiric. And now, once again, Potato Pillagers are strong and in charge right now.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised. They're beautiful pick off from the combination of Pla and Tracemaker, but after that, just allowing One Trick Brig to live just absolutely kind of took the wind out of their sails. They could have built off of that. Brig is not the main healer of the team, but not being able to solidify that elimination really just kind of took the wind out of the sails here for the Sharks. Let's see if they're able to stop things as Blood just run right on over.
And looks like Potts is committing most of their sleep dart to this Wrecking Ball here, but Tracemaker showing some presence along with Pla, able to take out the backline entirely. That's going to be no more foundation for the Potato Pillager side, as it looks like Vicious Sharks are going to go and steal the bot right under their noses right now. That was a good dive. Good little 3-2-1 from Tracemaker and Pla there.
Yeah, even the little bit of just keeping the supports at bay so that the rest of the team is able to get those picks off onto the tank and DPS of Potatoes was really the opening they need, even without the necessary picks. As we see Water here fighting with Lucas, just trying to keep the team alive as best as they can. Able to find Vampiric in their own backline, but Marks the Pot trading out with Kelly Dudd, I think is going to even the playing field for now. As Pla has the Vines online, has had them online for quite a bit, waiting to see what possibility they're going to be able to bring to the table, how they're going to be able to zone that, as I hate to tell Pla, but the bot is not heading the direction you think it is, and I hope the rest of the team realizes that.
Most definitely. They did kind of steal the buff from under the noses yet again, but Pla was just Seems like he was none the wiser at the moment. But as we get ready for Potato Pillagers to regroup from this fight right here, once again, Wrecking Ball going in, causing havoc, taking a couple shots and backing off just in the nick of time. He realizes now that the Ana's not there, so he falls back and mines the point just to go and get those picks to see if anybody can go and dive. And that's the last night going onto the point, falling to Pla. Those mines seem like they did a lot there. And now Vicious Sharks able to take the lead and capture the first checkpoint here, allowing them to get the forward spawn.
Yeah, butt scratch mode engaged, and that first checkpoint already locked in as we see a possible late rotation coming in here from the Potatoes. I don't think that this is going to be a wise move from them, as we see a rotation now coming out from the supports of the Sharks. So with that early pick on Kelly Dud, I think this fight is already over.
Oh, yeah, most likely. As Blood's gonna go ahead and fall instantly as well. Tracemaker falls yet again, and that's gonna be a nice little flip right there. They didn't have to commit that many ults, but they do have 4 online. The Potato Pillagers have 4 of them at this moment, and these might be make or break. Looks like we do have an overclock, a pulse bomb, transcendence, and nano boost coming in for the Vicious Sharks though. So it's a 4v4. Let's see how they use their ults this time. Let's see if one of them messes up and uses it a little too early or late.
I think the biggest thing is going to be how Last Night is going to use this Primal Rage as they go ahead and already pop it out. I imagine going for Water and Lucas as we see Vampiric on the objective, able to get the punch kill on the Tracemaker, locks in the butt scratch. As Kelly Dud's here on the high ground, trying to look for that opening pick. But Tokyo finding Water, Lucas, and Pot following up on Kelly Dud. It's exactly what they need, and this might be the lead for the Potato Pillagers.
Most definitely, as they get closer and closer to just tying up the game. But the bot is once again in Vicious Shark's favor right now. Looks like most of the Potato Pillagers are at the top right now to see if they can go and pick out a dive and see if they can find anything. But Pla is just disrupting their plans left, right, and center. Pulse bomb goes a bit wide, but Pla's able to take out Pot there after a big slam. That was great pick right there. Just disrupting the entire backline of the Potato Pillagers. And he's not done yet. Another big slam coming in. Tokyo falling to 1 HP, and that's the rally being committed, but it's not going to be able to be enough as Tracemaker takes out the one-trick break. Vampiric on the kill of Lucas, but Tracemaker once again to the trade. And they're going to go and take point right there and secure, at least solidify their lead.
Yeah, I find it a little unfortunate that we ended up seeing Water using the sleep onto Last Night. I don't even think Last Night realized that they were behind them, but I think that might have given them just a little bit of space to be able to maneuver. But you gotta remember, tanks don't sleep nearly as much as DPS do, but thankfully they have secured the lead as the pulse bomb comes in, not able to find its target.
Most definitely, and that's going to be the Last Night falling to Water after a little bit of an unsuccessful dive there. And that's going to be the mines also are committed from Pla. It's going to secure the rest of this point. Tracemaker putting in some work, but Kelly Dud and Pla are going to be able to clean up these kills after the damage goes in. Once again, this is just a very strong performance. Pulse Bomb did go a little bit wide. I think that was the reason that they were not going to win that fight, because they were able to just have the Ana just could stay alive in that situation. That was not something that they really needed.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we really need to be seeing right now is some control of Pla right now. Pla is really just making an absolute chaos of the objective right now and is making it very difficult for this team to find any value whatsoever. They either need to find a way to sustain, or they need to find a way to take Pla out of the picture. You know, bring out the Sombra, bring out the Hog, bring out the Cassidy, whatever you need to do to be able to lock that in. Shoot, sometimes even a good counter is just a good Junkrat with a well-placed trap. You know, something that's able to shut down Pla just being an absolute madness and acting like a pinball machine in the backline.
Second, looks like we have Tracemaker finding one trick big and Pla finding Pot. That's the back line.
Oh, what a sleep!
Oh my goodness gracious, that was insane to watch. Kelly Dud picking up that final kill right there for them to go ahead and just flip that point in their favor. Pla once again back on the point. We'll see if they're going to go ahead and try to make a play right here, but it seems, though, that Tracemaker is just in position to get something great going. Vampiric falling, or at least killing Lucas with the pulse bomb. They didn't have a transcendence to save their life there. That's a really good pick. Oh, and a nice sleep onto Tracemaker from Pot. Weren't able to secure the kill though as the recall comes out, but Tokyo is taking matters into their own hands. It gets a nice little double kill on Kelly Dudd and Water.
Now, see, that's the opportunities you're looking for right there. You got to be able to get those picks early and often, but with the speed that Pla, the fastest hero in the game, by the way, fastest hero is Wrecking Ball because of their ability to change shot and speed. It makes them incredibly fast, and we have just been seeing it over and over again. They're not even able to get back to where they normally would be because of the speed that is coming out from this Wrecking Ball player.
Once again, that is a failed rally there. Not able to have that much value as he's just forced to shield up and nothing else. No bash, no fighting, none of that. As it looks like Vicious Sharks are just showing them why they are vicious in the end. For Ultimates Online versus the Potato Pillagers only having one. That's the Primal Rage. You'll see if that's able to be enough to sustain, but it may not.
Yeah, initially I thought that, sharks may not be vegetarians based on how the potatoes were hanging out on Oasis, but maybe they're Canadian. Maybe they like some poutine, a little bit of meat on the potatoes, and now they're able to sink their teeth right in as Tracemaker here in the backline with the pulse, looking for one trick frig to be the focus of that. Not going to find the value they're looking for, though.
Oh my, and that is going to be the fight going towards the Potato Pillager side, but that is overtime. They do have quite a lot to push, and they are not yet at the forward spawn yet. See if they can stop the bot just in time before they can go and grab that. I don't think it's possible.
I mean, they could probably grab the forward spawn, but I think the issue is just how separated the team is right now. Last Night has to stay on that objective. They cannot get off of it, and the rest of the team is just so far away right now. As we see the minefield ready to be unleashed, Nano put onto Tokyo to see if they can carry the team on their back once again, and it is just looking incredibly difficult for them to even be able to touch.
Oh, and Pla just putting in work left, right, and center, getting a nice little triple kill. 2 with the Wrecking Ball, 1 with the slam. That is an insane display of Wrecking Ball. I've seen that. That's insane to me, and it looks like the Vicious Sharks were feasting upon the potatoes this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of Wrecking Ball play in my day. That's definitely some of the best right there coming out from Pla. Being able to use, especially in areas like that where it's very small, but they're able to find enough momentum to be able to really displace the team that they're trying to the teammates that they're trying to push away. I mean, that is some exceptional Wrecking Ball play, especially being able to utilize his chain grab now with the ability to be able to be kind of reined in as well. Sets you up for some some major play right there as we see the Sharks saying, just go ahead and replace us with 5 Plas. We just need 5 Plas on the team, and we'll win. Easy day, no big deal. So, question that I have now as we go, I believe, into Escort now. Does Pla stay on the field, or do we see Tort make their way back in?
I don't know, especially when it comes to Escort. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think he's only a ball player, no?
I don't know.
I hope not.
I mean, I don't know. But based on what we saw tonight, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, that's definitely someone that's put in a lot of work to being really good at Wrecking Ball. So, and seeing as Pla was brought in mid-match, that also tells me that maybe they're pretty skilled at a few tanks, but not the whole roster. But especially on places like Escort, looking at the map choices that we have, Shambali, Dorado, or Havana, that does, if you think about Dorado has a lot of open space, a lot of high ground area. Havana, very much the same. We call the first area Widow's Bowling Alley for a reason. Could easily just be Wrecking Ball's Bowling Alley as well. As well as Shambali Monastery, it's just a lot of long sight lines with a lot of space to just be able to get in, make a big disruption, and then get the heck out very easily. So I'm interested to see if we see Plug come back out on the wrecking ball. I'm also interested to see if last night does anything to change things up. I would have loved to have seen some swaps coming out, whether it be like an Orisa or a what's the word I'm looking for? A Roadhog, just to be able to disrupt Flood just a little bit. I'm surprised we never saw Sombra come out. Like, that's one of the biggest things that you can do to Pla, even though it only hacks them for a second. You know, being able to hack them and get them out of the rotation that they're trying to make forces them to reset and reposition to be able to get in the picks that they, or to be able to get set up for the picks that they need to make. So, you know, any type of disruption that you can make for Pla, those sleeps are just never going to be enough. He has at base 700 HP, folks. Like, no Ana with one sleep dart and an anti-nade is going to take out a wrecking ball with 700 HP. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, the way that I would go would be Zenyatta. If you're a support that your DPS and your tank aren't really helping you out, going Zen can absolutely shred through the shielding, and especially when you have one-trick Brig on Brig, like, they are able to offer you a little bit of protection against the wrecking ball while you just absolutely shred through that HP. So, I mean, it's not ideal. I hope that the team's working together to figure out this situation. But if you are a lone support in need of surviving on your own, that would be my recommendation, because that's the route I typically go. Whether it be Winston's or wrecking balls, anything with absolutely massive health pools that are just gonna keep pushing you or pummeling you around. That Discord and your orbs just do so much damage if unchecked by the other team. So we'll have to see what the Potato Pillagers do here. That's really what it's going to come down to.
Most definitely. It looks like we have a little bit some roster changes going in for the Vicious Sharks right now. It looks like Tracemaker is going to be hopping out for another player that we have here. So I believe Drix is the name. So we'll see how they go ahead and do in this next one.
All right. So Tracemaker definitely being the sole tracer player on the team, going to be swapped out for Drix, who we haven't seen anything of yet. That might provide some value for Vampiric to be able to get a little bit more value in the team. But not knowing Drixen's pool, you know, kind of puts us a little bit at a loss. So we'll see kind of how everything shakes out here. As we see also One Trick Brig being swapped out for Curious, which makes me curious as to what Curious plays. So
not gonna lie,
we're getting no Brig in the picture this time around as we go into Havana for our next map. Little ooh-na-na on the field.
I was gonna say the exact same.
There you go. You can't, right?
Exactly.
You just can't say ooh-na-na. You can't say Havana without saying ooh-na-na. That's just the way
it's
like you can't say Route 66 without the place to get your kicks.
Exactly.
And that might just be because I'm old. So, you know, for all you youngins out there, I'm sorry. I'm an oldie. You know, I guess if you watch Cars growing up, you might get it if you recognize the song. I guess that's a little recent. Actually, now that I think about it, that might not be very recent. Oh no! Oh no!
I think we've gotten to that age where the early Pixar movies, man, are old now.
Oh no! How long ago was Cars movie?
04, I think.
2006. That was the year I graduated high school, man. Oh no!
You're gonna hate me if I tell you.
Oh man!
You're gonna hate me.
Oh man, I'm old. You might not know it. That's rough. That's rough.
I was about 5 years old in 2006.
That's. Wow. Well, see, I'm not mind blown by that as much, just because I work with a lot of folks that are like 18 to 21, so that's okay. So that's not as much a surprise to me. But knowing that that Pixar movie is over 15 years old, wow, that just that's
baffling.
Actually, almost 20 years old. Now that I think about it, holy crap, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's baffling.
Coming out on the Hanzo this time around, with Pla locking in that wrecking ball once again.
I'm excited to see how this one goes out.
Tokyo's not gonna have a good time. Can already see it. Tokyo's not having a good time with this one.
Oh yeah, Pla is in and out just like that. That's a very, very fast wrecking ball if I've ever seen one, you know? I like how he just plays in a very, very fast pace. He doesn't take any stops. He only has W key bound, and that's it, nothing else.
That's right.
The best thing as well. Ooh, and it's going to be a good dodge on that accretion there. Tokyo able to take out Drixon, though. This is a little bit of the strong performance that we saw earlier today, and it's Curious is taking out Fluff. Really Doug taking out that little pylon there. Might not be enough, though, because last night takes out Kelly Dud. In Tokyo, on the kill with water, that might be the first point coming in for Potato Pillagers so far.
Yeah, and these long sight lines, although they're really good for Wrecking Ball players to be able to get off a lot of momentum, it also leaves them and the rest of their team incredibly vulnerable. As we see Lucas trying to get back to the rest of the team, was able to hide for as long as they could, but ends up getting picked off in the transition by Curious. That's going to be Objective Alpha, just locked in quick, and now Pla heading into the secondary objective here into the Foundry. It's going to be a little difficult for them to find those rotations.
Looks like we found the Kryptonite for play, and that was Curious on the Baptiste. I didn't expect it, to be honest, but hey, here we are, and it's kind of crazy to see. And now you can take on with the next one.
Yeah, it's just really coming down to that disruption there. Tokyo is living right now. Drixon not very warmed up.
Looks like Drixon's going to need to come alive here if you want to go and win these fights. Because it looks like they are steamrolling at the moment. Vampiric on the kill with Plove right after Kelly Dud gets a kill on Tokyo. And last night, just showing that they're forced to be reckoned with now. It's trying to hunt down this Zenyatta. See if they can find him. There it is. Vampiric getting that kill onto water. And that, I think, is already the second point.
Almost. Kelly's going to be able to touch, as is Pla.
Kelly Dud falls a little too short, though.
No? Yeah, Pla's going to let it go out in the open. This is looking rough. Like, we're seeing just with the change not only of Curious on here, just providing a little bit more healing and damage. Last night on this Sigma has been playing out incredibly well. We actually see Plug get off the Wrecking Ball.
Wow. Well, opting for the Sigma. That's something I didn't expect I'd see. Let's see if it's going to be enough, though. Let's see if his Sigma is just as good as his Wrecking Ball.
The main poke composition going to be pretty easy to play out here. Love seeing Lucas over on the Yachty right now, using that pylon to get in a little extra healing. Although with how mobile the other team is, unless you're focusing on last night and Curious, that Captive Sun isn't going to get a lot of value.
Looks like we have 4 ults coming in from Potato Pillager's side, but they're not opting to use any of them at the moment. They're just waiting patiently for something. I'm not entirely sure why. And there it is. Captive Sun and Graphitic Flux are going back and forth, but Lucas able to shut down Pot with that Captive Sun, but Graphitic Flux is able to take out Kelly Dud. But last night is so low on HP, he's forced to fall all the way back. Anti-J is going to go ahead and go in Curious as well, so he's also forced to fall back. And there is Plug getting that pick onto Vampiric. And once again, the Infrasight, allowing them to see anywhere and everywhere that they may be, trying to get as many picks as possible. Kelly Dud harassing the backline, able to take out Tokyo. Forced to recall, though, as Vampiric is able to take out Kelly Dud with the trade. It's going to be a little bit of an even Steven right now, with 1 DPS down on both sides.
Yeah, the good thing is that we're going to be seeing Kelly Dud come back a little bit faster there than Tokyo. Tokyo's gonna have sights, but they're not gonna be in the mix enough to be able to do anything with them here until the last moment. That early pick on to Lucas with Vampiric following up on Drixen. Oof, that might be exactly what they need.
Most definitely. And there's a gravitic plus coming in from Blood as he gets shut down instantly. Able to take out Curious, but what a huge shutdown, allowing the Potato Pillagers to just keep on pushing this point. But on the cart right now, half HP, but Drixen comes back on the Ash, gets a quick little double kill. That's maybe what they needed here. We'll see how this one goes. Maybe Drixen is finally woken up and he's able to do some damage here.
I do love Drixen swapping over to this Ash. Although you have the single pick potential coming out from Tokyo on this Widow, the Ash has the biggest tool in the game, and that's the Dynamite. Being able to send out damage over multiple enemies, to be able to give a little bit of burn, a little bit of damage that allows those singular headshots to be a little bit more lethal, provides all the advantage in the world, especially when you have to be so close quarters like they are right here.
It looks like Last Night being forced into the immortality field after that commitment right there. He's low on HP. Drixen able to take out Vampiric though. And it's going to be a little bit of a strong fight. Tokyo trying to find a shot, but Drixen is putting in so much work on this Ash. Lucas takes out Tokyo with a huge snipe from the jump. Last Night is so low on HP, he falls instantly. Kelly Dud takes him out, and Curious is getting staggered out right now. And that is a strong push. Or at least a strong hold, excuse me.
Very good hold there from the side of the Sharks, as they are sinking their teeth in for this final defense. Minute 20 remaining on the clock. Last Night has the Gravitic Flux online, could be paired with that Captive Zone once again, but did not work out for them well this last time around. Blah working up to that Gravitic Flux to possibly use it in combination with Lucas as well. We see the Dynamite's Ore got a lot of the team at half health, and there goes Tokyo.
Captain Sun's gonna go on to Lucas instantly to go ahead and take him out, and there's a Gravitic Flux along with Bob going in. Last Night taking out Drixen, but Bob is still on the point, putting in work. See if he can go in and get anything. He's 1 HP. Vampiric with a nice little double kill. One on Water, one on Bob. And Vampiric is just showing that he's a force to be reckoned with right here, right now. The Gravitic Flux is gonna go ahead and get committed there, but it's gonna get stopped by the immortality field. As Lucas picks up Vampiric, and he's gonna, and Water's able to pick up Pot. That is a strong push right now. And it looks like
gonna be held. Curious, not able to find the value that they're looking for, or sorry, Tokyo rather, not able to find the sustain that they're looking for right there. I don't think Vampiric is going to be able to get there to touch. Has Pulse Bomb online. We might. Last Night swapping over to Winston, I don't think it's going to get there either. They're able to touch just long enough.
Oh, and looks like we have Club back on the wrecking ball here. Captive Sun coming in from Lucas. He's gonna go and pick up one as Lucas takes out Tokyo on the casting. Club able to take out Curious, and there's the pulse bomb on to Club, but it's not gonna be enough here. As Last Night tries his hardest to dive, and then being forced to recall out is Vampiric. He's gonna fall, and that's gonna be the second point being captured, not the third. Now we switch sides.
That was looking real rough there for the Sharks for quite a bit, but honestly, putting that flag in the ground, although they had a really strong defense, doesn't mean their offense is going to be as good. The Potato Pillagers, if they can hold a strong defense against this team, will not have any issues whatsoever being able to keep them off of this third objective point for capture, but we'll have to see what they come out with. I don't know if we'll see Pla come out on the wrecking ball again for these first 2 points. It seems like they had a really hard time rolling out, especially if we see the Potato Pillagers coming out with the same composition they were using before. See Curious locking in the Ana instead of the Baptiste. That does worry me a little. Oh, it looks like Pot's going to take over the Baptiste. Okay, a little less worried now. I think that Bap was just providing a little bit extra healing than what we saw before between the Brig and Pot that we were seeing during the games. And we might be seeing Plug come up on the Doomfist, which honestly, if we're talking about rollouts, You can get a lot of good rollouts here on Havana. I think it's just going to be this long straightaway. It's going to be the hardest area for Flood to be able to get through. And yep, that's exactly what I thought was happening. Just a little goofing around in spawn. I should know better after 7 years of doing this. I should know better that until the doors open, you don't know what players are actually going to pick. And they're going to debate you every time.
Exactly. But we're going to go ahead and continue on from here right now. As we see Plud take a little bit of a long flank try and get in that backline right now. And once again, looks like Last Knight's kind of left on his own. We don't really have that many supports looking at him at the moment. So he's being forced all the way back after getting antenated here. He's going to try to hold his own for this moment, but he's already half HP, so he's not going to be able to get a lot of poke in as they're going to continue to push the cart. And that's a good shot onto Last Knight from Kelly Judd, forcing him back to half HP, and this forcing the entire team to fall back. Plug, though, is going to be able to take out Tokyo. And he's going to get a big slam onto the back line, forcing the Baptiste shift. And oh my goodness, he's zooming Last Night on his own on the cart, trying to hold as long as he can. He may not be able to do it all on his own. Plug able to take out Curious and Vic Drixon, taking out Vampiric. Plug still being a force to be reckoned with.
I'm a little interested in why Tokyo decided to go into the area that the Wrecking Ball was and not onto the high ground where the Wrecking Ball wasn't. That was probably one of the... I wouldn't think that you would want to go directly where the Wrecking Ball is headed to, as we see Vampiric clear in the space for Tokyo to be able to get up there. Now on the Sojourn, as we see Drixon swapping over as well. Tokyo able to find that elimination as the Immortality keeps everybody up, and that's a good lock in there for the defense. As we see Pot trying to play off of Curious, saying, you know, I can battle back too. I can do it. You just gotta believe in me a little bit.
Yeah, I got this. As we continue on with the next fight, looks like Lucas has the rally on board, and Nano Boost is almost coming in. We might see a Nano rally coming in here. We'll see how it goes.
Oh man!
With the minefield on the cart, forcing all of them to fall back. Excuse me. Lucas committing to the rally here. Anthony is going to go ahead and get missed, and Accretion is going to go ahead and get blocked. Pla taking out Tokyo, and there is the Nano onto the rally, but it's going to get slept instantly. Not a lot of value. Good thing Pla is there to go ahead and help out in the end, forcing the support to all fall all the way back. They either have to take a look at Pla, or they have to go back to the point and let him shoot them in the back. And there is the point being captured by the Vicious Sharks after a great display of ultimate abilities. However, it was 2 support ults. So we'll see how this one goes.
As we see little dance here coming out from Pla, showing off their prowess. But I gotta be honest, the Potatoes did a really good job of shaving off a couple of minutes off of that time bank. You know, or actually 3 minutes off of that time bank. They were going in with only a minute remaining into that first objective point. So they're gonna have to make up some time here if they want to be seeing the 5-minute time bank that we saw from the side of Potatoes on their attack. Oh, beautiful recall.
Sleep, but it was a greater recall. Last Night taking up a high ground to see if he can go and force them back as far as he can. Drixon back on the high ground though, to get a couple shots and takes out Tokyo. Commits to the overclock here. Kelly Judd taking out Vampiric. We'll see how the rest of this one goes. Last Night coming in from the low ground, and that's the overclock already going away. Looks like Drixon just completely missed Last Night. Didn't see him at all. He was right below you.
Nah, they are going to go ahead and let Flood deal with Last Night. The goal is to get the squishies off of the field, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. As we see the Gravitic coming out, not finding purchase there for Last Night. Tokyo able to find the double as Last Night falls. The objective getting dangerously close to its second point. And there's Tokyo with a third, looking to see if they can grab Plug. Excuse me, and make it that even 4, and there it is.
Almost
Last
a team
Night
right there.
swapping over to the Diva.
Oh wow.
Alright.
I'm ready to see how this one goes.
Yeah, it's definitely a choice. I'll say that. It's not a horrid choice, don't get me wrong. But it is not easy to play Diva into Wrecking Ball because you cannot keep up with Wrecking Ball. So I worry, is Last Night choosing the Diva to dive the backline. There we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. You use it to counter dive when Plug goes in your backline, and it provides a lot more sustain. That's good. If the team can keep themselves alive, that's exactly what they need to do.
There's the rally being committed early, but it's going to get anti-nated, so it's forced all the way back. And there's the nano boost. Nano rally back online. Big stun onto the last night, forcing him out of mech. And there's no team there to go and sustain him there. Big sleep onto Ana right there. So Pluz able to go ahead and clean up that kill with Kelly Dudd up on the high ground. And they just leave Vampiric in the backline to see if he can go and stab up anything. Kelly Dudd, though, is already back. Let's go ahead and take them out. And that's the second point going to the Vicious Sharks. They have one more place to go. 2.5 minutes. Let's see how this one goes. We have Amplification Matrix online. The closest thing we have next is going to be the Pulse Bomb. It's only at 79%. This may not be a stronghold for them.
I mean, honestly, I think they're in a good position to be able to hold this long sight line. I think it's really going to come down to the utilization of this Amp Matrix, and if they can keep Fla from being a disruptive force here, as we already see last night here in the side room, trying to see if they can get some damage there on Depla, able to get that amplified healing, but fails the roll out there, not able to get to land, and that's going to be rough. Oh, but an even trade. The Vampiric down, that might be the opening they need.
Most definitely. We have 3 ultimate abilities up online for the Potato Pillagers right now. Full spawn and bomb going in. And there's the overclock being committed from Drixon to see if he can go in and get a couple picks here and there. Is it going to be possible? He goes and takes out the field. Kelly Dudd able to take out Pot and Water on the kill Vampiric, and that's going to be the Nano Boost. Going on to Tokyo, see if he can go and build up overclock here, but he's not able to do so as Pla is going to take him out, but Last Knight's there for the trade. And right now, it's looking like the Vicious Sharks are putting in so much work. Oh, Drixon! This huge slide shot there with the Nano Boost. That was beautiful. Textbook.
Oh no, and Last Night didn't have boosters, so gets booped off of the map. Minefield ready and raring to go right now. 40 seconds left on the clock as we go ahead and see them clear the arena. With 30 seconds remaining, Kelly Dudd trying to hold on to that high ground as long as possible. It's going to be up to Tokyo to see if they can pull this off. This is do or die time for the lead in the second half.
And I think it's die time, looks like, because Kelly Dudd's able to pick up 2, and Lucas there to pick up Last Night. And 13 seconds left. They must scramble onto point, but it's not going to be enough as the Vicious Sharks take out the Potato Pillagers. 3rd point win, and that is going to be the winner of the series there. Vicious Sharks take the cake. That was a crazy match.
Yeah, that was an insane turnaround right there. And I wasn't gonna speak before the chickens were hatched here, or I guess before the shark pups were born. I don't know what signature you would use for that in particular, but with time being so low, they did not have a lot of chances, the Vicious Sharks, to be able to retake that space if they failed on their push. They had 1 push, and that was it. And we were seeing a little bit of mess ups coming in, Pla falling off of the side, and whatnot, was making things a little bit difficult for them to be able to sustain on the objective. But once Pla was able to really make that space for them, they were able to. Yeah, we do have to talk about MVP here, and as much as I want to give it to Pla, I kind of want to give it, like, I'm not big on the showiness necessarily. I want to see the stats behind the scenes. I think I gotta give some love to Water.
Really?
You may not agree with me, and you know, I'll go with whoever you pick, but Water was just absolutely popping off on the support line. The Baptiste, the Ana play was just absolutely phenomenal, able to call out those sleeps so that the team was able to sustain on the objective. Even in the first objective, a lot of the reason that we saw Tort surviving fights that they shouldn't have was because of the Baptiste play in those immortality fields. So
that is true.
I will say that that's who I would consider the playmaker here, especially since we saw them over all 4 maps being very consistent with 2 completely different tank plays. Like, and that's a well-rounded support right there to be able to not only stick with that slow and methodical pushing of just a regular push tank, but also being able to keep with the fast-pacedness of a dive tank like Wrecking Ball, especially. So completely up to you though, who you picked for MVP. But I'm definitely giving a shout out to Water because that was some awesome support play there.
Almost definitely. I'd say that every time that I saw Vampiric try to dive the backline, he was either not able to get the kill or he was sleeping. That's just how good that Water was at Ana. That's just how good that Water was at Ana. So, hey, you know what? Let's go for it. Water.
All right. All right. I always like to switch up the status quo. Some, we, especially when we see it on our end, we see all the flashy plays. We get to see the DPS. Oh, okay. I don't know if I do not see the call either, so I don't know if that's something that we can do. So we might not be able to bring in Water, unfortunately, for an interview, but we do want to at least shout out them as the MVP for tonight. Absolutely popping off. And hey, give some love to your supports, folks, because all those amazing plays that the DPS and tank are able to do is because they're keeping you alive. So definitely be sure to do that. And other than that, I think that we are done for the evening. Taking a look at the schedule, we'll see that our next match, is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be heading into Tier 3 with Haiti versus XL2. So we're still waiting on getting some casters for that. So casters, if you're out there and you haven't signed up yet, be sure to get in on that. I don't know if I personally will be back tomorrow because tonight was a lot for me and I'm now noticing the extent of my long COVID, but maybe I'll come back sometime during the weekend when my voice is a little, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how things shake out, but definitely want to give a shout out to Rocky the Aussie, running production, doing observation for us. We couldn't have done it without you, fam. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much
for locking that in. And
doing God's work, man.
It was absolutely wonderful casting with you. Do you have any other shout outs or anything that you want to talk about before we go ahead and hang it up for tonight?
If you guys want to find me anywhere, I'm active on Eman everywhere. I also wanted to give a shout out to you, Cap. Did great as well. Thanks for casting with me, and of course to production as well. Rocky, you did amazing. And I want to give another shout out to all the players. You guys played out of your mind. Definitely way better than I could do on all your roles respectively. So I want to give a big shout out to y'all. And, I want to give a big shout out to Annihilation as well for putting on this cup and allowing us to bring our talents, whether I be playing the game, observing it, or casting it, bringing them together and creating an amazing league. So thank you again for all that. That was amazing. Thank you. I'm going to give a round of applause for you. You probably can't hear it, but I'm giving a round of applause.
Well, that is awesome. And there are ways that you can support Annihilation. You can... I believe there is a tip link underneath the stream. Now, note anything that we receive from proceeds of the stream via like bits or subs or anything, as well as tips or anything that comes through for our sponsors, either goes into the prize pool for our players or goes to paying the staff that are running the streams. All of us are volunteering our time. So Annihilation has been kind enough to share some of those proceeds with us. So, that we get recognized for the effort that's been put in here. Because let me tell you, if you've never seen production on the back end of one of these, you may see a couple of flub ups on the front end, but let me tell you, it gets pretty chaotic back here. So we appreciate all the folks here at Annihilation that put those on. So be sure to check out our sponsors, Factor. If you haven't checked out Factor before, they craft up to 40 weekly menu items each week so that you can eat clean without the hassle. They're basically just pre-made meals that are made relatively fresh and then frozen. pop them in the microwave, eat in 2 minutes, and they're 100% renewable energy sustainability. So like everything that they ship things in is like recyclable. Everything that it's made in doesn't use like fossil fuels or anything like that. So